The neighborhood we're headed to right now is called Pioneer Square. It is in the southwest corner of downtown Seattle, and it is actually where Seattle's founders originally settled in the 1850s. And the place we're headed to right now is called Il Corvo. It is an Italian restaurant that specializes in fresh, handmade pastas. Now, I first heard about this place from Eater.com's resident roving national critic, Mr. Bill Addison, who wrote about Il Corvo as this kind of ideal lunchtime pasta venue. It's inexpensive, delicious pastas, but here's the thing, you gotta get there early. They are only open for lunch, and they are only open on weekdays. There are legendary lines coming out of Il Corvo every day. People line up well before the place opens. Residents of Seattle know about this place, and they know how you can get a really reasonably priced, delicious pasta meal. Now, I love pasta. I am a carbohydrate fanatic, and so I had to go.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
We're standing in line for pasta. You guys are the first in line, which must mean you're very dedicated fans.
I am.
I'm visiting.
Oh, you're visiting. But
She
It was like
insisted on coming.
She knew about Il Corvo all the way from Miami.
oh, really?
Yeah.
I work as a personal chef, so I really appreciate the philosophy that al dente comes from the protein in the wheat and the protein in the egg versus the way that you cook the pasta. And then also for someone that's in the business, I like the idea that, they're open Monday through Friday, so they can have a life with his family and see his friends, so that's always a goal.
When she said she wanted to come here, I'm like, okay, I'll wait in line. It's like, it's worth it.
Are you from the area then?
I am. I'm local.
What do you think about the food scene generally in Seattle?
I think it's great. You have folks like this doing their own thing, making your name known, and having a line that's exponentially growing
I know, it's so
as
crazy.
the minutes tick by.
Thank you very much. That's a ridiculous brunch. Let's start with a little piece of this delicioso focaccia. This is just a highly leavened bread with herbs. It's so good. With some nice crusty bits of baked cheese on top of the focaccia. It's very delicious. Focaccia, a high gluten flour and a lot of yeast to give it that nice rise. And then it's typically dotted during the cooking process, with fat. And the result is just a very fluffy, absorbent, delicious, pleasantly greasy bread. Let's move on because there's a lot of food here. Pickles are one of my favorite things to eat. As Ben Franklin would say, hunger is the best pickle. But I disagree with you, founding father. That's what he said. Again, look it up. Farmer's Almanac, 1764. I'm pretty sure Ben Franklin said, hunger is the best pickle. This is a series of pickled seasonal vegetables. And so we have our cauliflower, some peppers, some celery, some onions, and the pickles are maybe something we like to revisit during the course of a meal. During the pasta courses, things are gonna get a little bit heavy, and so every now and then it's nice just to have a clean, acidic bite of pickle. Finishing up the app portion, we have a lovely plate of prosciutto di Parma, dry cured ham from the Parma region of Italy. And I believe prosciutto comes from the word prosciugare, which is to dry out. You can almost just see right through it. It's so thinly sliced, and it just pulls apart. And then you get those nice bits of fat on the end. Now, typically in antipasti, prosciutto and melon are eaten together, but in this case we have pickled celery. Let's do what we came here for, and that is the pasta. Now, the menu always changes and certain things swap in and out, but I believe the pappardelle bolognese is sort of the mainstay. This is a ragu, and a ragu is just a meat-based sauce, and the bolognese comes from the Bologna region of Italy. You kind of start with a little, I think in Italian it's a sofrito, but it's like a mirepoix of celery, onion, carrot. That sort of is the base of the sauce, to which beef and fatty pork is added. And it's just an incredibly thick, rich meat sauce that has also that undercurrent of fat and vegetables. The pasta itself is perfectly al dente. It has a lot to do with the quality of the ingredients and also how long it's cooked. And typically al dente is just right when the white of the middle of the pasta has disappeared. There's still a little bit of resistance when you bite into it. Here we have the very beautiful looking calamaretti, which is pasta that is shaped like calamari rings, colored with that squid ink, and then it looks like it's covered with some chopped Italian parsley and some breadcrumbs. I have to say, first of all, it's very good. Second of all, I'm very pro breadcrumb in pasta. It seems to be a thing that more restaurants are doing, and I very much approve because it adds a really wonderful texture, a nice crunch. Again, nicely al dente, and the squid ink, it infuses it with a nice briny seafood flavor. And then the sauce is like a nice arrabbiata sauce. It's basically a spicy, peppery, tomato-based sauce. It's very lightly dressed, and what that does is that allows the pasta to really take center stage. Last but not least, this is the fiori. It's like shaped a little bit like a wheel. You look at it this way, it kind of looks like a little mushroom, or like a little chef's hat or something like that. One of the things that's great about pasta is how versatile it is and how you can constantly be changing it and creating different shapes. It also has a lot to do with how pasta holds a sauce. So this one, because of its shape, is almost like a little cup. It's going to hold a little more sauce. Sauce is very creamy. It's a little bit earthy. It's a little bit sweet. It tastes vaguely of pumpkin, a little kind of nutmeggy. And it's also buttery. It's very good. And it's worth noting, this is dining on a dime. And I believe all of these pasta dishes are under $10. I don't know what sort of deal with the devil they've made, but this is some high quality grub for very little money. Bill Addison said, every city in America should have an Il Corvo. And it's hard to argue with that. Thank you very much for your recommendation. This place was great. I really hope you enjoyed this episode of Dining on a Dime from Il Corvo restaurant in Seattle, Washington. If you'd like to watch more, please click here.
Dessert of flowers and main course of the great nothing, aka anything. All right, mysterious riddle.
I love that.